Hi. The other day I talked a bit about these difficulty bugs of levels and how at first I used unsorted ones, and then I decided to make it a bit more complex, putting bugs inside the general directional, the four directional bugs of levels, putting random bugs sort by difficulty. But then I realized that there is a much more elegant solution, which is to use the original simple bugs only with sorted difficulties, and use an index system to select, when we create each level, to select levels from here to here, for example, for difficulty 1, here to here for difficulty 2, etc., and so on. This solves a little problem I had also. Besides simplifying the scheme, it solved a little problem, which was that the easier bugs had thousands of levels, for example, and the more difficult bugs only have 1 or 2 levels each, and that was a problem. And the way I was using to sort the bugs was a bit too monotonous, mathematically speaking. So now with this scheme, it's a bit unified, because the harder levels, the harder difficulties are perceptually a bit closer together for the players, or at least in the few tests I made so far. I will see how other people react to the difficulty. But in general, the harder difficulties are more close together for the mind of the player than the first difficulties. The first difficulties are really distinct between themselves, and the harder ones are very similar. So that this will be better. So in principle, each level has several solutions, and I sort, or I determine the difficulty of the level as the maximum difficulty of the puzzles in the level. But in the game, I use an index for the difficulties to make it simpler. So at first, the difficulty level is -1, and when I begin the iterative load, I made an initial level and assign it difficulty 0, and then when I add a level, I determine the new difficulty. Let me see. The new difficulty, this is old code. The new difficulty obviously will be the old difficulty +1, and then I assign it after making sure that the level is in the game. I assign it. So it's not made. These are still random difficulties, but I'm adding it now. The idea is that the initial level will have, like it says here, difficulty 0. And when you solve one of the solutions, keep in mind that this solution is hard because I'm still not using this scheme in the level selection. I'm choosing at random currently. But this level will have difficulty index 1, like it says here, and so forth. Each new level will be picked according to the appropriate subset of puzzles. So when the player explores the puzzle, this level, the initial one, will have difficulty 0. All the directly connected levels will have difficulty 1. This one, and this one, and this one, and this one, for example. And the levels 2 steps away will have difficulty 2, etc. So let's make that, because currently I'm choosing at random from the bug. Remember that the bug I'm using is determined by the angle of the, let me show you, the angle more or less, the directionality of the entrance. For example, to place this level, I selected from the from this bag, the level data R array. These are 4 arrays of levels. Each array has different kind of entrances, and in each array the difficulty is sorted, so the easier levels are at first and the hardest at last. So let me let me see here. When we select the data, we need to use, instead of using this index, we will use, instead of using the entire size, we will use something like difficulty. We need another variable here. Let me see, number levels, diff levels, difficulty levels, which will be the number of different difficulties or difficulty index we will use. Let's try 20 for now, and we need to divide this by the difficulty levels and take the floor and index it. Diff times, no, this will be the base, and the index will be the base plus range from 0. Perhaps we can use this is good. Size diff divided by the diff levels, but this needs to be the floor. Okay, now this obviously it should be correct. Let's try again. We are having an index problem. Yeah, we will check if the difficulty is greater than equal to the max. We will return false. Let's print this so we know what is happening. Okay, let's try. We are perhaps, yeah, we are trying to load an old save again. Okay, how many levels did we make? And how okay, difficulty, yeah, it seems to let's add, I added a little cheat to unlock all levels. so we can explore the map completely. Okay, it seems like we generated all possible levels. Let's see how is it the difficulty. It seems to be easy, the first level. The second seems to also be it's not so direct. I wanted to solve the other case. Okay, the proper way to test this is to have an automated let's see. Yeah, obviously playing by hand all the levels is not so good, but yeah, I will add later a layer of interface so I can examine in a kind of auxiliary UI the properties of each level, the kind of solutions it has, etc. But yeah, for now it's good progress. I think this new approach is simpler than before. The parsing was a bit demonic with with these bugs inside bugs, etc. And I had some statistical problems with the sub bugs. But in this case, it's much simpler, and it allows me to experiment with different formulas here, because obviously, this formula is linear. No, it's simply to cut, so to speak, to cut here is to cut here at equally spaced intervals. But I can play now with other kinds of solutions which could cut more frequently in the easier levels and more spaciated in the hardest ones. I don't know. I still am designing all of this. Okay, for now, thanks for watching. Let me know if you have questions or suggestions. Please like and subscribe and share the channel and the video with people that could enjoy it. And please consider supporting this kind of videos using some of the links below. Thanks.